Well, one of the things that you start off with really quickly and becomes like a running thread throughout your whole book is like insane ribs that you and your generation would pull on each other. Why were ribs back in your day so much crazier, I feel like, than anything I ever hear about now?
Well, you could get away with it. Like they would nail your shoes to the floor, put honey in your shoes, sew your pant legs together, change the lock on your locker and stuff like that. Then it got too far out of shape, and that's when Vince Senior put a stop to it. I mean, I've had him put itching powder in my trunks where I had to leave the ring and go hit the shower right away, and they thought it was a big joke. But then when Vince Senior, Junior, or Senior did too, took over, that he made everybody cut the ribs out, you know.
Oh, man. Yeah. Highlights, definitely several highlights in the book for me were some of the crazy stuff you guys did with each other, you know. But, you know, starting off here, you know, the book kind of, it bounces around a little bit. It's not really necessarily a completely linear story, but you do start off talking about your own parents. How hard was it for you to recollect all that stuff and be so honest about what your childhood was like?
It was hard. I didn't know if I was going to put it in or not, but I said, you know, I'm going to put everything in. So, you know, my dad died when I was 12 years old, and then I left Nova Scotia at 14 and went to Toronto, and everything started from there.
Yeah.
But it wasn't too hard to talk about, like, you know, my mother really loved me. My dad did too. And I think the last words you said was take care of me. So that's what my mother told me. And I had a great mother. She was a hard-working woman. And she got a boyfriend, and I didn't care much for him, and he didn't care much for me. You know, he thought I was like a piece of luggage hanging around. So I said the best for me to go and you know, do what I had to do. So, but, you know, I do miss them, and, you know, they're my family, my parents. I'm always going to remember them.
Yeah, and, you know, you left the home at such a young age. I think it was like 14, you said. You took off to Toronto. Like, you know, what did you learn having to go face the world at such a young age like you did?
I had to learn how to survive. That was the first thing. And when I got to Toronto, I went and got a job at the car wash for 90 cents an hour, but you got paid every day.
Yeah.
So I always had a few dollars in my pocket. I went to started training at Trinity Recreation Center because you didn't have to pay. It was just a dump of the gym, but at least it was a gym. And then when I got started making money, I joined the YMCA for $7 a month. And that's when I took training serious and started boxing and trying to get into wrestling, how I was going to get in it and stuff like that.
Yeah, and, you know, you talk about your time as a boxer, and, I mean, you've got some famous boxing friends, George Foreman, Muhammad Ali. I mean, what were these relationships like? Why do you think you bonded so quickly with these guys?
I don't know. I met Muhammad Ali in Toronto when he was still Cassius Clay. He was getting ready to fight George Villa.
Yeah.
And I went down to Sully Sullivan's gym because I knew Sully Sullivan. And, I was messing around boxing a little bit. And we got to talking, and then it was just like we knew each other for 50 years. And then we clicked, you know. And then when I was in California, I met George Foreman. He was getting ready to fight. Was actually sparred with him because he was getting ready to fight Joe Frazier for the world's title. And he lived in Oakland, and I lived like 3 miles away in Hayward. He used to knock on my door, and we'd go running in the mornings. So I got to know him real well.
Man.
But I just had that urge. I had that wrestling in my system.
Man, that's so crazy.
Sorry,
go ahead.
And I didn't understand why, of all the blacks or whites or anybody in Canada, that I became a professional wrestler. Then I went back and I talked to one of my family, and they said that my uncle from years ago used to wrestle in the carnival. Wrestle guy out of the crowd, they invite him in the ring, and if you could stay 10 minutes with him, you got $5 or something like that. And what I heard that, you know, nobody's ever beat him.
You know,
so because I often wonder why, of all the people, especially the Afro-Canadians or whatever you want to call us, why I was the only one that really went on to make something in the wrestling business, being Canadian.
Man, it's crazy because, like, you talk about your carnival roots, and you know, I've read quite a few wrestling books in my time. You did something that I've never seen, and you give away how to speak Carney in the book. Like, you tell people how to do it. That was That's so like you burned the curtain down there. I mean, were you nervous?
Well, no, I didn't burn the curtain. I let the people already knew. They just wanted to be. We called them marks. Nowadays, you call them smart marks.
Sure.
You know, and we just learned to talk it. And I just put in the book what I thought was, the good, the bad, the ugly. I didn't, pull any punches. A lot of things I didn't put in the book that I should have, but I didn't want to get too deep.